with Cynthia Morahan.
Auckland Council still can't say how many affordable homes have been built 4 years after setting up its solution for the housing crisis. More than 150 special housing areas were set up to fast-track building tens of thousands of new homes. The council says it has no single system for monitoring exactly how many have been built and sold. Rest homes struggling to cope with a massive pay equity bill are asking the government for more money. Tens of thousands of aged care and disability workers got a hefty pay rise on Saturday. The Aged Care Association says small rural facilities are already in deep trouble and will have to have short-term financial assistance to stay afloat. A partially deaf roller derby player has got an apology and $4,000 after complaining that her coach discriminated against her. After being cut from national team trials, Ms Taylor noticed comments from her coach Stacey Roper on Facebook, saying her disability. Last week, Ms Roper apologised and paid Ms Taylor emotional compensation. New Zealand king salmon has been criticised for lax biosecurity controls after 2 deadly bacteria were found in its fish. The findings are part of a Ministry for Primary Industries report into unusually high death rates of salmon at one of the company's Marlborough Sounds farms. The investigation found the company failed to follow best practice. The French President Emmanuel Macron is planning a radical overhaul of the country's government. He wants to cut the number of lawmakers by a third. Mr Macron says he has a broad mandate after sweeping wins in presidential and parliamentary elections this year. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is facing heavy criticism after he was photographed relaxing on a beach he had ordered closed to the public. The governor ordered non-essential services to be shut down, including the Island State Beach Park, because of a budget impasse. Pictures published in the media show Mr Christie and his family on an otherwise empty beach. Other visitors were turned away by police. That's the news. Now the weather around the country today with Met Service, Kaitaia and Whangarei. Showers easing in the afternoon, 16. Auckland, showers developing this morning, 16. Hamilton, early fog, then 1 or 2 showers late morning, 15. Tauranga and Whakatane, mostly sunny, 15 for Tauranga and 16 for Whakatane. Rotorua, fog clearing this morning, then fine, 13. Gisborne, Napier and Hastings, a mostly sunny day. Gisborne and Napier on 17, Hastings on 16. Taupo, fine this morning, possible afternoon showers, a high of 12. Taumaranui, early fog, chance of an afternoon or evening shower, and 13. New Plymouth, Whanganui and Palmerston North, a few showers easing this evening, 15 for New Plymouth and Whanganui, 14 for Palmerston North. Liven and Kapiti, morning showers, then fine, 15. Masterton, early fog, sunny spells, chance of an afternoon shower, and 15. Wellington, mainly fine, chance of an afternoon shower, and 13. Blenheim and Nelson, mainly fine, possible showers, 13 for Blenheim, 12 for Nelson. Westport, brief morning rain, turning to showers, clearing this evening, and 13. Greymouth and Hokitika, brief morning rain, then fine spells, and a chance of a shower until evening, a high of 11. Kaikoura, mainly fine, a possible late morning shower, a cold southwest change in the morning, and a high of 12. Christchurch, rain easing to 1 or 2 sleety showers this morning, then fine, 11. Ashburton and Timaru, some morning rain, then mainly fine, southwesterlies, and a high of 11. Oamaru, rain clearing this morning, but chance of a shower until evening, a high of 10. Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra, sleety showers clearing to fine, 7. Dunedin, rain with snow to 200 metres, turning to sleety showers this morning at a high of 8. For Invercargill, sleety showers, some heavy with hail and possible thunderstorms till evening, and a high of 8 degrees. It's 21 minutes to 8.
And this is Morning Report. The electoral battle lines between Labour and the Māori Party have been drawn and contested for more than a decade now. The Māori Party was set up back in 2004, but now the Māori Party is opening up a new front. Under an arrangement signed last week, up to 9 candidates from the One Pacific movement will stand for the Māori Party in general seats, mainly in Auckland. The president of the Māori Party is Tukuroirangi Morgan, who joins us now. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe, kia ora, kai.
Talk us through how this arrangement works.
We have decided to unite to take the opportunity to strengthen our shared political aspirations by allowing and inviting the One Pacific movement to stand candidates under our banner. It's an attempt to unite and progress the social, economic, and political aspirations of both whānau and ainga living in Aotearoa. And we believe that we can launch a strong campaign. They are not novices, so they stood 21 candidates in the last local body elections in Auckland, where they captured thousands of votes. This is an indication of the growing discontent amongst the Pacific Island nations around the country, more especially in Auckland, towards the Labour Party, who've done nothing in the last 9 years to serve or to provide any concrete benefit of the aspirations within the political process.
Okay, so and you're targeting presumably seats in Auckland with significant Pacific populations, Māngere, Manukau East, Mount Roskill.
We believe that 5 of the seats that we're targeting in Auckland, 2 of which are winnable for our candidates, both Māngere and Manukau East. These are people who understand the political system, who are hardened and proven candidates on the hustings, people who have connections in churches and community organisations. So we think that we go into the race at neck and neck in those 2 respective seats.
And so is this a further sort of battle line with the Labour Party? I mean, are they your main contestants here?
Absolutely. Our game and our outcome that we seek is always to break the stranglehold that the Labour Party have held over the Māori seats and the Pacific Island community. What is distinct here, Guyon, is that we understand the frustration of being oppressed by the people like Andrew Little. So we're in charge of our own political bus.
Well, hang on. How have you been oppressed by Andrew Little?
Well, look, what is clear is that Andrew Little has thrown his Māori MPs under the political bus. They don't give a stuff about Māori aspirations, and the past 9 years is an indication.
Well, hang on. To be fair, they haven't been in government, mate, have they?
Absolutely. And look, it's been to our salvation that they haven't been in government, and there will be a further 3 years on the back benches. We're absolutely confident that we can shut out the Labour Party and both.
Okay, well, Andrew Little's listening to that, so we'll get his reaction to that in just a second. But just finally, I go to your constitution of the party, and it says the Māori Party is born of the dreams and aspirations of tangata whenua to achieve self-determination for whānau, hapu and iwi within their own land. So where does Pacific sit in that? I mean, where do these candidates sit? If you've got a Māori Party for tangata whenua, where does the Pacific voice sit in that?
Where we share, we are connected by ancestry, by blood, by whakapapatais. Those are unbreakable bonds that we share over more than 1,000 years. Māori are a Pacific nation. We were born of the Pacific. It is quite clear that we are joined by blood. They are family. We are ainga to the people of the Pacific. That's the distinct difference between us and other political movements like the Labour Party. We know that we share common values of aroha, of respect for each other, of looking after each other, manaakitanga. All of those underpinning principles are embedded deep into our psyche. So we will not forsake our Pacific cousins in this country. It is our custodial responsibility to look after them.
Yep, fair enough. Hey, just before you go,
home with them.
Sure. Just before you go, why are you so down on the Labour Party?
Look, they have the Labour Party have had a history of treachery against Māori people in this country, and if you look at their track record, it's not too long ago when we were forsaken in relation to the seabed foreshore. So their history is well known to Māori. We intend to reclaim those Māori seats, and in addition, take some of our Pacifica cousins
All right.
into
Okay.
the House of
Good
Parliament.
place to leave it. To leave it. Thank you very much for your time. That is Tukuroirangi Morgan, who, of course, is the president now of the Māori Party. It's 16 to 8.
And let's speak with the Labour Party leader, Andrew Little. He's in the Wellington studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
A history of treachery against Māori. Is that how you see the Labour Party?
No, not at all. In fact, our representation of Māori is just going from strength to strength. After the election this year, we will have at least 12 Māori MPs in our caucus. It'll be the single largest representation of Māori in a single political party ever in the history of New Zealand. So very proud of that. Our representation of Pacifica is very strong. We've got people like Carmel Sepuloni, Opito William Sewell, Jenny Salesa. We've got some new candidates coming through, Anahila in South Auckland. So we take representation of those communities very seriously.
But these are exactly some of the people who are going to be targeted by the Māori Party and by One Pacific, standing up to 9 candidates. I mean, pretty serious charges there from Tukuroirangi Morgan, oppressing Māori and Pacific people and also saying that you don't give a stuff about your Māori MPs. How do you answer the charge?
Yeah, that's all words from Tukuroirangi Morgan. That's all he's got. So if you look at the track record of the Māori Party, they've hitched their wagon to the National Party government for the last 9 years. Actually, things have got worse for Māori. Māori are overrepresented in the homelessness, and their levels of Māori home ownership have gone down. They're overrepresented in our prison system, and yet the Māori Party, who is meant to be the independent voice of Māori, have been there all along and have done nothing and achieved nothing. So, look, we'll have that out in the Māori seats. We'll have it out everywhere. Though the One Pacific Party was dressed up as Auckland Futures for the local body elections last year in Auckland, it was a complete and utter disaster. They got nothing and they got nowhere.
Well, speaking of hitching wagons, the political return of Shane Jones, are you anticipating that could be a serious way of votes being taken from Labour to New Zealand First?
No, I mean, Shane Jones will bring a fair amount of intellectual grunt to New Zealand First. That's good. Shane remains a good friend of Labour. He will most likely be back in Parliament. I mean, that's a good thing. I think from the Labour Party's point of view...
You think he's going to win Whangarei?
I'm not sure he will win Whangarei, but it looks likely that he will be in a reasonably good place on the list. I'd be surprised if he was making himself available for Whangarei without some undertaking about the list. I expect we will see Shane Jones back in Parliament for New Zealand First, and I regard that as a good thing.
You don't see Labour as being the biggest loser from his return?
No, not at all, no.
OK, giving a boost then to New Zealand First, though, in the regions and particularly among Māori, isn't that a double squeeze on that side of things for you?
No, because I'm very pleased with the campaign that we're having both in the regions and with our level of Māori representation. I look at candidates like Kitty Allen, for example, on the East Coast, Willow Jean Prime up north. We've got some outstanding new Māori candidates coming through, articulate, dynamic. They'll bring a lot to the Labour Party. In terms of the regions, I'm in the regions every week. In Marlborough last week, I was in Carterton on the weekend talking to people out of Wairarapa. Record turnouts. People want to hear our message. They want something different, and they want a commitment to the regions, and they want practical, realistic stuff, not kind of pie in the sky stuff.
What about how all this shakes down? I mean, what are the chances of New Zealand First with Shane Jones in it working with Labour?
I think we have a very strong relationship with New Zealand First right now. Shane Jones's presence can only strengthen that. Shane has good, strong links with some of our MPs, and I expect that will continue. So Shane, if anything, strengthens the bridge that we have with New Zealand First. So I don't see any problem with that at all.
So you think actually this is a way of saying that actually New Zealand First might tip the hat more likely Labour's way if it came down to it because of Shane Jones being in the party?
I don't take anything for granted, and I think Winston Peters, as the leader of New Zealand First, would be very clear. He's not going to give any or suggest any favour from to one side or the other. I think the fact that Shane Jones is there, he is known to the Labour Party, he commands a lot of respect by many within the Labour Party, is a good thing for Labour in terms of if we get the opportunity to form a government after the 23rd of September. I think Shane Jones's presence there offers something to help with that. Would
it be a better thing for Labour if he was standing for Labour?
Well, Shane made his decision some time ago. He's gone off and done other things. He wants to come back into the political firmament now. Good on him. But no, we have been spoilt for choice in terms of new political talent. In the end, every political party has to renew and refresh. We've been in the process of doing that.
What might Shane Jones want from being in a coalition? Wouldn't he want a ministerial position?
Look, I have no idea what he would specifically want. I don't know what New Zealand First would specifically want.
But he does have ministerial... that's a background that he has, as has Winston Peters.
Exactly,
isn't it likely that at least those two from New Zealand First would be seeking ministerial positions in any future government? And would you be prepared to give them that?
Well, what New Zealand First wants out of any potential coalition negotiations is a matter for them. If I have the privilege of forming a government afterwards...
Well, it is a matter for them, but it's also a sense of, is that something that you would be prepared to offer?
I think when you're putting together a coalition government, obviously you got your potential coalition partners. For us, it is naturally the Greens, obviously New Zealand First as well. And there's going to be bids put up, and there's going to be what is needed to have a strong, stable government pulled together, and that would almost certainly involve having MPs from each of those parties in a cabinet. Quite what the detail of that is, how that looks, would be a matter for any discussions after the election.
Appreciate your time. Andrew Little, the Labour Party leader, at 10 minutes to 8.
And the top engineer, a top engineer, says so little is known about how high-rise buildings react in a severe fire that it would be foolish to assume that New Zealand buildings are safe. Associate Professor of Civil Engineering Charles Clifton says this big knowledge gap explains why some experts think a Grenfell Tower fire scenario could not happen here, while others think it's just waiting to happen. Here's Phil Pennington.
Fire engineering design is stuck in the 1970s compared to earthquake engineering, says Charles Clifton, perhaps this country's leading expert on how buildings behave in intense quakes and fires. And it's made worse by a dire lack of research funding for it.
Yes, the situation really is pretty Wild West. Our understanding is very low. The design procedures that we use are pretty much divorced from the reality of behaviour.